that, and so we need to act like it when we come out and hold each other accountable, and we will, but it's just like a sense of urgency from before the game even starts, because we can't get down at 22 at one point and expect to win this game. So it's pouring into each other, pouring into the game from the get-go, because we're also setting up our second unit for a tough task when they come in. So we can't rely on them to just pick us up every single game. We got to start the game strong.
Yeah, y'all heard it yourselves. That clip was from the Lynx and Valkyries post-game presser. And Veronica Burton said, we got to work on not getting in a hole and depending on bench mob to bail us out. And the very next game, they threw bench mob a grenade. They threw him a grenade, y'all. It wasn't a 20-plus deficit, but it was a big enough hole to where it was a mess that bench mob had to go in there and try to clean up. But we going to talk about it. Yo, what up, ball holla? Welcome to Valkyrie Report. If you're new to the channel or if you've been rocking with me, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and turn on my notifications so you know anytime I'm going live or when I'm dropping a new video. Now that we got that out the way, we got a lot to talk about today because last night, that was horrible. And you saw the clip that I just put up. Veronica Burton said that we have to work on not putting bench mob in a hole. And that's exactly what they did. Let's keep it real. That's exactly what they did. It wasn't a 20-point deficit, but they did put them in a hole going into halftime. And if you watch that game, you will see that that momentum was 100% in Chicago's hands going into the half. So let's go ahead and just dive on into this because, I mean, the only way that they're going to recover from it, like they need to really get back in the lab and just go back to basics because this is what it looked like going into the half. 12-point deficit, but that was a hard 12 points. Like they were catching, shooting. They were getting shots beyond the perimeter. Natasha Cloud, she was doing her thing. She was going off. I mean, just to paint a picture too, going into this, you can see the team stats over here for the Valkyrie. Everything was down, right? They're not the best the free throw shooting team. They're not definitely. I mean, they're in the bottom. 12 out of 15. I mean, 77%. Last night on free throws, they were 68%. So a lot of key free throws that were missed. Free throws in the clutch, like, and honestly, it doesn't even matter when the free throws are made or missed. Like, you just gotta hit those, right? In terms of assists, we averaged 19 assists a game. They were at 17 last night. The three ball was just not falling at all. 23%, and they damn near didn't even hit one the whole first quarter. So I mean, everything was just down across the board. You would have thought that we were playing Minnesota again, the way that the things were playing out in the offensive end. But fortunately, we had some standout ballers from bench mob. LA stepped up and she got some good meaningful minutes. So it wasn't just garbage time. And I mean, you can look at the stats yourself. She had 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, so she was packing the stat sheet. And I don't know if you guys seen, there was a graphic that's been going around on Twitter about finishing at the rim. Well, last night, LA finished at the rim. She was 100% and she made a 3-pointer. So she did her thing. Shout out to Amihere. Also, on top of that, she actually got a team high last night. So she had a career, or not a team high, I'm sorry. Well, no, she did have a team high as well as points too, but she had a career high last night, a 16 points. So she played her ass off. Like, I'm proud of her. She's one of my favorite players. I mean, it doesn't matter if she's coming in with just 2 minutes or if she's out there for 10 plus. She's definitely going to take advantage of the time that she's out there. So shout out to LA. And Salaün, of course, did her thing last night. She actually broke the WNBA record for most reserve points in the season with 458. And there's still a lot of ball to be played in the season. So, 2 representatives from Bench Mob definitely stepped up and did their thing last night. But the team stats, I mean, look at these numbers from the starters. This is just abysmal. You're not gonna win any games against top teams, mid-tier teams, or teams that are at the bottom of the pack, right? Shout out to Chicago, but they're considered a bottom of the pack team. You're not gonna beat any team when only one of your starters is in double digits. Kayla Thornton, 0. Gabby, 2. Cece, 6. Kia, nothing. They gave absolutely nothing. They gave nothing. I mean, you would think that coming into this game, it would be like a good bounce back game. All right, we got caught slipping. We came out slow in the Minnesota Leafs game. Let's go ahead and try to turn this around. Let's come out and let's punch them in the mouth, right? And I'm kind of disappointed because I thought we were going to see our developmental players play last night. They were both activated and they didn't even get to sniff the court because of the deficit to Chicago was built so early, and then the rest of the game was just playing catch-up ball. So when you have your starters putting out numbers like this, it results in things like this. Yeah, a night. This is from the Lynx game, and we got night last night again. But this time it was from Sydney Taylor. Now she's one of my favorites outside of the Valkyries. I think she went to Louisville and she played overseas for a couple years. She was undrafted and then she just came back like it was like World War Hulk or something. Just came back, just lighting people up. What she did to us last night is something that she's done before to other teams that I've seen, leaving her in a position where she can get a 3 off without a hand in her face, or sometimes even with a hand in her face, is going to be trouble. This is the night that
had
from
to get
last
it back.
night.
Now here is Taylor with Burton on her. An excellent defender in Burton. Taylor going to size her up. 5 to go in the game. Taylor stepping it back for the win. Sydney Taylor does it again.
So, like I said, shout out to Taylor. That was and she had even hit a clutch 3-pointer before that to tie the game. So she tied the game with a 3, and then she came right back, and then she hit the game winner with the 3 and left us with little to no time to do anything with it. Now Veronica Burton was on her. Veronica Burton is a hell of a defender. So I don't think that was like a mismatch or anything. Sydney Taylor is, she's a little lengthy, but I mean, what can you really do in that situation, right? But I'll tell you what I think should have been done. And the talk around Ball Holland from what I'm seeing is, where was Gabby Williams? Where was Gabby Williams on those final possessions, right? This is potential defensive player of the year. She's in every top conversation that you see, every list that you see pertaining to defensive player of the year. Gabby Williams' name is going to be on there. Now, granted, she wasn't having the best shooting night. She was a cold night for her. 2 points. She was 0 for 6 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. Hit both of her free throws, thank goodness. But it was a horrendous night for Gabby on the offensive front. But that doesn't take away from her defensive effort, right? She's still one of the best defensive players in the league. And it's a lot of chatter going on right now, and a lot of people are saying that Nakase should have got her back in, right? Regardless of and this is, like I said, I don't make the news. I just report the news that this was a way of putting the starters on notice. But it's not a good look having your potential defensive player of the year on the bench at a crucial moment like this, whether it's Chicago, Minnesota, the Aces, the Fever. She has to be out there. I don't understand that. And the chatter about, okay, Gabby tends to cool down in the second half. Yeah, okay, I get that. She had 2 bad games in a row, but at the same time, she's still a hell of a defender. In that Lynx game, I still saw her putting up some defensive prowess. So it's not like just because the shooting game is off, we see it all the time where you might not see a player for all but 5 minutes of a game, but you see them coming into the game in those clutch moments. Or you might see a player who's played damn near the whole game, but get pulled on the defensive end in those clutch moments. Now, again, Veronica Burton, I feel like she should be on one of those all defensive teams. But in that situation, Gabby Williams should have been on the floor in some capacity for those last 2 possessions. That's my personal feeling. And we're going to go to Twitter in a second and we're going to see what the people are saying as well. But something has got to give. Something's got to give because people are not happy with that. People are not happy with that. It just wasn't a good look. I don't think that it's a good look to have a potential defensive player of the year on the bench, especially at a time like that. So shout out to them. Hopefully they can try to figure that out, that rotation. And again, I was one of the people that said, okay, Bench Mob is making this comeback, so let's stick with them. But in that situation, you got to have Gabby out there. And I heard the post-game presser. I saw the transcript. My boy Chris sent me the sound bites. Kenzo was in there asking good questions. He provided the transcript. And Nakase said something about fresh legs. So she wanted to go with the fresh legs. But at that time, we're not looking for a big bucket. We're looking for a defensive stop. We're looking for 2 defensive stops in a row, right? So that's why I feel like Gabby should have been in there. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it's said and done. But let's go see what Twitter is saying. So I posted this poll the other day. Well, actually, last night. And I said, hey, Ball Holla, I got a question for you. Despite Gabby's performance tonight, should she still have been on the floor for that final possession? And then I added a little asterisk, just basically saying the final Chicago possession. So we got some people saying, okay, I think she had some fatigue, as Coach Nat was going with fresh legs. I understand that from a shooting perspective. Okay, but we got the stats over here where basically Gabby Williams, she sat for the whole second half. So I feel like coming the fourth quarter, she touched the quarter in quarter 3. She was out there for like a minute or 2, not even that, but she came right out in the fourth quarter. She didn't touch it. So, I mean, I think her legs would have been super fresh for those final 2 possessions. Why did all the starter suit? Why did they sit so much? Well, I got the answer right here. So this is why where we go, the team stats. Oh man, where is it? I need to label these a little bit better. I can tell you why right here. Now I'm going through right here. I had 2 things labeled the same. That's why the stars were in there, and Nakase basically goes with the hot hand and who's performing. And so this is why, because at that, I mean, they basically were out there doing nothing. They were just running cardio. So that's why they were sitting so much in this game. If they're not playing well, then why should then we should not play them. Okay, some small mistakes. I'm not bothered or concerned. That mess up. Yeah, I mean, we got the playoffs coming, but I mean, at this time, like the standings are just so tight to where it's just like we can't really afford to just sandbag on certain games, right? Like we got a lot of teams on our tails. The Aces are still there. The Fever are still in our rear view. I mean, everything is tight, and we want to definitely get that home court advantage going into the playoffs. Sorry, I would have brought KT and Gap. Yeah, me too. I would have too. KT is good for those rebounds. One bright spot I bring away is I love that LA got some meaningful minutes. Yep, so I'm happy about that. For defense, yes, but then I would take it off the floor for the final shot. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at that, but she just should have been it. She should have been in there, right? You can mix and match it however you want. She should have been in there. As a Valkyrie fan, I wanted us to lose the game. Claire Thornton is running away. She was kind of timid out there. Should the final possession should have been the final possession before we got the lead. Yeah, so I agree with you. For the last 2 possessions, she should have been in there because I mean I feel confident that she could have locked up Taylor for even that because the one before that when she tied the game, LA was kind of slow getting back out onto the perimeter and she got Taylor got lost in the shuffle and got the open look. Should have been in the game with the same time with Burton in my opinion. Have to trust your key player. Yeah, I agree with that and give you a like on the spot. But yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comment section. Do you think Gabby should have been in there on that final possession? How do you feel about the starters getting off to a slow start in these past 2 games? Bench mob. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today. I'm still putting together the blog for the Chase behind the scenes experience with this Google Suite. So I'm going to have that guy coming to you by the end of the weekend. But like I said, playoffs is coming. We on to the next one. Holla.
Come out and hold each other accountable, and we will, but it's just like a sense of urgency from before the game even starts because we can't get down at 22 at one point and expect to win this game. So it's pouring into each other, pouring into the game from the get-go because we're also setting up our second unit for a tough task when they come in. So we can't rely on them to just pick us up every single game. We got to start the game strong.